My wife kept taking off her wedding ring, calling our marriage dead, and I slowly realized I was just a backup while she pretended to be single online. Wrong. Not misplaced, not forgotten at the gym, but completely gone. Again. I'm standing in our kitchen, watching her make breakfast like nothing happened. Her left hand moves freely. No tan line, no indent where the ring should be. She's acting like it's the most natural thing in the world. "Where's your ring?" I ask, keeping my voice steady. She doesn't even look up from her eggs. "I told you I lost it. That's the third ring in 6 months. Things happen." She shrugs, finally turning around. "It's just a ring anyway." Just a ring. The words hit me like a punch to the gut, but I don't let it show. This is the same woman who cried when I proposed, who insisted on wearing it during our honeymoon, even though she was worried about losing it in the ocean. "Just a ring," I repeat, crossing my arms. "That ring cost me 3 months' salary." She rolls her eyes. "Oh, please don't be so dramatic. It's a piece of metal with a rock on it. The marriage isn't about some symbol. Really, because you used to say it meant everything to you. That was before." She turns back to the stove, dismissing me completely. Before what? Before I realize this whole marriage thing is dead. Anyway, there it is. The truth finally comes out. Not lost, not misplaced, but deliberately removed because she's already checked out of our marriage. She's been walking around for months without her ring, telling people God knows what about our relationship. Dead, anyway. I step closer, my voice getting quieter. "Care to explain what that means?" She spins around, and for the first time this morning, she looks directly at me. It means exactly what it sounds like. We're going through the motions, pretending everything's fine when it's not. The spark is gone. The romance is dead. And honestly, I'm tired of pretending. So instead of talking to me about it, you just decided to stop wearing your ring. What's the point of wearing it? It's not like it's going to magically fix our problems. She laughs, but there's no humor in it. You're so hung up on symbols and traditions. Maybe it's time you grew up and accepted that things change. Grew up? She's telling me to grow up because I expect my wife to wear her wedding ring. The audacity is almost impressive. You know what's funny? I lean against the counter, matching her casual tone. You're lecturing me about growing up, but you're the one who's been sneaking around without your ring, probably letting people think you're single. Her face flushes red. Bingo. I'm not sneaking around. I just don't feel the need to advertise my relationship status to everyone. Relationship status. I can't help but laugh. We're married. That's not a relationship status. That's a commitment. Or at least it was supposed to be. Commitment. She says the word like it tastes bad. You sound like my father. Your father's been married to your mother for 35 years. Maybe he knows something about commitment. Yeah. And look how miserable they are. That stops me cold. Her parents aren't miserable. They're actually one of the happiest couples I know. But apparently, in her mind, any long-term marriage equals misery. So what exactly are you saying here? I ask, though I'm pretty sure I already know the answer. I'm saying that maybe we rushed into this. Maybe we're not as compatible as we thought. Maybe we should have just lived together instead of making it all legal and complicated. Legal and complicated, I repeat her words slowly. You mean like actual marriage? Don't twist my words. I'm not twisting anything. You're saying you regret marrying me. She opens her mouth to deny it, then closes it. The silence stretches between us, and in that moment, I get my answer. You know what the really pathetic part is? I continue, my voice still calm. You don't even have the courage to say it directly. You're hoping I'll just figure it out from your little hints and disappearing rings. I'm not being pathetic. I'm being honest. Honest. I push off from the counter. Honest would have been talking to me months ago when you first started feeling this way. Honest would have been marriage counseling or at least a real conversation. What you're doing is passive-aggressive manipulation. I'm not manipulating anyone. I'm just done pretending that everything is perfect when it's not. Nobody said everything was perfect, but most people work on their problems instead of just giving up and taking off their rings. She sets down her spatula and turns to face me fully. You want to know the truth? Fine. I haven't felt like your wife in months. I feel like your roommate. We don't connect anymore. We barely talk about anything meaningful. And yes, I stopped wearing my ring because it felt like a lie. Finally, some real honesty. But instead of making me want to fight for us, it just confirms what I suspected. She's not interested in fixing anything. She's already moved on mentally. So what now? I ask. I don't know. I guess we figure it out. We figure it out, I nod slowly. Or maybe you already have it figured out and you're just waiting for me to catch up. She doesn't deny it. She just stands there looking at me like I'm supposed to read her mind and somehow magically know what she wants. But I do know what she wants. She wants out, but she wants me to be the one to make it official. She wants to be able to tell people that I gave up, that I couldn't handle her honesty about our marriage being dead. Well, she's about to learn something about me. I don't play games, and I definitely don't let people manipulate me into doing their dirty work. You know what? I grabbed my keys from the counter. You're right about one thing. The marriage is dead, but not for the reasons you think. What's that supposed to mean? It means I'm done pretending too. But unlike you, when I'm done with something, I actually do something about it. I head toward the door, leaving her standing there with her mouth open. She wants honesty. She's about to get more honesty than she bargained for. Over the next 2 weeks, she started going out more, a lot more. Tuesday night was drinks with colleagues. Friday was dinner with old friends. Saturday afternoon turned into Saturday evening, then Saturday night. Every time she left, no ring. Every time she came back, no explanation. "Where did you go tonight?" I asked when she walked in at 11:30 on a Wednesday. "Out with the girls." "I told you this morning. You told me you'd be back by 9 p.m. She kicked off her heels and headed straight for the bedroom. Plans changed. We went to that new place downtown. Which place? I don't remember the name. Some trendy spot with overpriced cocktails. She's getting sloppy with her lies. 3 weeks ago, she would have had the name of the restaurant ready, maybe even shown me pictures on her phone. Now she can't be bothered to keep her story straight. "Funny thing," I said, following her into the bedroom, "I called your office today. They said you left at 4 p.m. She froze halfway through taking off her earrings. So? "So, if you left at 4 p.m. and didn't get home until 11:30, that's 7.5 hours for drinks with the girls. We had dinner too, right? At the place you can't remember the name of." She spun around, her face flushed with anger. "Are you tracking my every move now? What are you, my parole officer? I'm your husband. Or at least I thought I was. There it is again. Your husband. My husband. Like that gives you some kind of ownership over me. It doesn't give me ownership. It gives me the right to expect honesty. I'm being honest. I went out with friends. I'm allowed to have friends. You're absolutely allowed to have friends. What you're not allowed to do is lie to me about where you've been." She sat down on the bed and started taking off her jewelry with sharp, angry movements. "I'm not lying. I'm just not giving you a minute-by-minute breakdown of my evening because, frankly, it's none of your business." "None of my business?" I leaned against the door frame. "My wife comes home 7 hours late, won't tell me where she's been, and it's none of my business." "Your wife?" She practically spat the words. "You keep saying that like it means something." "It does mean something to me anyway. Well, maybe it shouldn't." There it was again. The constant undermining of our marriage, the casual dismissal of our commitment. But this time, I noticed something else. She was being more aggressive about it, more confident, like she had backup. "You know what I find interesting?" I said, keeping my voice conversational. "You used to tell me everything. What you had for lunch, what your CO workers said, what you thought about the movie we watched. Now you can't even remember the name of the restaurant you supposedly went to. People change." "Yeah, they do. But usually they change gradually, not overnight." She stood up and walked to the bathroom, clearly trying to end the conversation. But I wasn't done. "I saw your social media posts." She stopped dead in her tracks. "Interesting choice of photos from tonight. You and 3 other women at what looks like a very expensive restaurant. But here's the thing that caught my attention." I pulled out my phone and showed her the screenshot I'd taken. "You're not wearing your ring in any of these photos. But more importantly, look at the caption." She glanced at the phone, then looked away quickly. "Girls' night out. Living my best life. Hashtag single and loving it." I read it out loud. Single and loving it. That's an interesting way to describe a married woman out with friends. It's just a hashtag, is it? Because there are about 15 comments from people congratulating you on your freedom and asking if you're dating anyone yet. Her face went pale. "You're reading too much into it." "Am I? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you're advertising yourself as single to anyone who will listen." "I'm not advertising anything. I just don't feel the need to announce my relationship status in every post." "Relationship status." I laughed. "There's that phrase again. We're married." "That's not a relationship status, that's a legal commitment." "Legal commitment." She turned to face me, her eyes flashing. "You make it sound like a prison sentence." "No, I make it sound like what it is, a promise. A commitment." something you apparently decided to break without bothering to tell me. I haven't broken anything, really, because the woman I married wouldn't have been caught dead posting about being single while she was married. The woman I married wouldn't have spent the last month pretending to be available to anyone who looked at her social media. She crossed her arms defensively. Maybe the woman you married was pretending to be someone she wasn't. Or maybe the woman standing in front of me is pretending to be someone she isn't. You don't know me as well as you think you do. Apparently not. Because the woman I thought I knew had integrity. That hit home. She flinched like I'd slapped her. How dare you question my integrity? How dare I? You're posting about being single while you're married to me. You're going out for 7 hours and lying about where you've been. You're walking around without your wedding ring, telling people your marriage is dead. But I'm the one who's out of line for questioning your integrity? I never said our marriage was dead to anyone else. You said it to me, and then you posted about being single. What exactly do you think people are going to assume? She opened her mouth to argue, then closed it. She knew she was caught. Look, she said, her voice softer now. I'm just trying to figure things out. Figure what out? What I want, who I am, what makes me happy. And you can't figure that out while being married to me? I don't know. Maybe not. At least she was being honest. Finally. So, what you're telling me is that you're essentially dating other people while you're married to me. I'm not dating anyone, but you're presenting yourself as available. I'm presenting myself as independent. Independent? I nodded. Independent from what, exactly? From this. She gestured between us. From feeling like I have to check in with you every 5 minutes. From feeling like I'm accountable to someone else for every decision I make. That's called being married. That's called being controlled. No, that's called being part of a partnership. But clearly you're not interested in partnership. She didn't deny it. She just stood there looking at me like I was the unreasonable one. You know what's really sad, I said. You're so busy trying to figure out who you are without me, that you've forgotten who you were with me. Maybe who I was with you wasn't who I really am. Maybe. Or maybe you're just scared of commitment and you're looking for an excuse to run. I'm not scared of anything, really, because from where I'm standing it looks like you're terrified of actually being married. So terrified that you'd rather blow up our relationship than have an honest conversation about what you want. She stared at me for a long moment, then turned and walked into the bathroom, closing the door behind her. I stood there for a few minutes, listening to the sound of running water. She was buying time, trying to figure out her next move, but I was done playing games. If she wanted to act single, she was about to find out what being single actually meant. I found her wedding ring 3 days later. Not lost, not misplaced, but carefully wrapped in tissue paper and hidden in the back of her jewelry drawer, underneath a box of earrings she never wore. I stood there holding it, feeling the weight of it in my palm. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't carelessness. This was a deliberate choice to hide the physical symbol of our marriage while she went out playing the single woman. The ring was in perfect condition. No scratches, no damage, no signs of wear. It looked like she'd been taking it off the moment she left the house for weeks, maybe months. I heard her car pull into the driveway and quickly put the ring back exactly where I found it. She walked in carrying shopping bags, humming to herself. She seemed lighter, happier than she'd been in months. Good day? I asked from the kitchen. Great day. Went shopping with my sister. Then we had lunch at that new place on 5th Street. The place with the outdoor seating. Yeah, that's the one. Really cute atmosphere. I pulled out my phone and showed her the photo her sister had posted on social media 2 hours ago. The two of them sitting at a table, both smiling, both very clearly wearing wedding rings. Interesting, I said. Your sister's wearing her ring in this photo, but I don't see yours. She glanced at the photo and shrugged. I took it off to wash my hands and forgot to put it back on. You forgot to put it back on for lunch. It happens, does it? Because I found something interesting today. Her smile faltered slightly. What? Your ring? The one you've supposedly lost 3 times? The one that's supposedly gone forever? The color drained from her face. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the wedding ring that's been carefully stored in your jewelry drawer for God knows how long. She set down her shopping bag slowly. You went through my jewelry drawer. I was looking for the watch you borrowed from me last month. But imagine my surprise when I found this instead. I pulled the ring from my pocket and held it up. Her eyes went wide. That's not mine. Really. Because it looks exactly like the ring I put on your finger 2 years ago. Same cut, same setting, same inscription on the inside. She opened her mouth to deny it, then closed it. She knew she was caught. Fine, it's mine. So, you've been lying to me for months. I haven't been lying. I didn't want to wear it anymore. So, instead of being honest about that, you decided to pretend you lost it multiple times. I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I laughed. Actually laughed. You didn't want to hurt my feelings, so instead you let me think you were careless with something that meant everything to me. You let me replace it twice, spending money we don't have, while you had the original hidden away like some dirty secret. It wasn't like that. What was it like then? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you've been deliberately deceiving me while you go out pretending to be single. She sat down heavily on the couch. I just needed space. Space from what? From me? From our marriage? From the commitment you made? From all of it. She looked up at me, and for the first time in months, I saw something real in her eyes. I feel trapped, like I can't breathe, like I'm disappearing into being your wife instead of being myself. And taking off your ring was supposed to help with that? It was supposed to help me remember who I was before I got married. And who was that exactly? Someone who didn't have to check in with anyone. Someone who could go out and have fun without feeling guilty about it. Someone who could flirt with people without feeling like I was betraying anyone. There it was. The truth, finally. Flirt with people. I repeated the word slowly. So this isn't about finding yourself. This is about wanting to be available to other men. It's not about other men. It's about me. Really? Because the woman I married didn't need validation from strangers to feel good about herself. Maybe the woman you married was settling. That hit like a physical blow. Settling? I don't know. Maybe. I was young and you were safe, and everyone said we looked good together. Safe. I sat down across from her. You married me because I was safe. I married you because I thought I loved you. Thought you loved me, I nodded. And now I don't know what I feel. I know I feel suffocated. I know I feel like I'm living someone else's life. I know I feel like I made a mistake. Finally, complete honesty. It should have hurt more, but honestly, it was almost a relief to hear her say it out loud. So, what now? I asked. I don't know. I guess we could try counseling or something. Counseling? I turned the ring over in my hands. You want to go to counseling to figure out if you want to stay married to someone you think you settled for? Maybe it would help. Help what? Help you figure out how to want to be married to me? Help you pretend to be happy with someone you consider safe and boring? You're not boring, but I am safe. And apparently that's not what you want. She didn't deny it. You know what's funny? I continued. You've been so busy trying to figure out who you are without me that you never stop to think about who I am without you. What do you mean? I mean, you've been treating me like I'm some kind of burden you need to escape from. But I'm not your jailer. I'm not holding you back from anything. You're holding yourself back by lying and sneaking around instead of being honest about what you want. I'm being honest now. After months of deception, after I had to find your ring hidden in a drawer to get the truth out of you. She looked down at her hands. I was scared. Scared of what? Scared of hurting you. Scared of making the wrong decision. Scared of being alone. So instead of dealing with your fear, you decided to have it both ways. Stay married for security, but act single for excitement. That's not fair, isn't it? You've been keeping me as a backup plan while you test the waters to see if there's something better out there. I haven't been testing anything. Haven't you? The social media posts, the late nights out, the careful removal of anything that identifies you as married. What do you call that? She was quiet for a long moment. I call it being confused, and I call it being disrespectful to me, to our marriage, and to yourself. So, what do you want me to do? I want you to make a choice. Either you want to be married to me, or you don't. Either you want to work on this, or you want out. But I'm done with the middle ground. It's not that simple. It's exactly that simple. You're either committed to this marriage or you're not. There's no in between. She looked at me for a long moment, then at the ring in my hands. What if I choose wrong? Then you choose wrong. But at least you'll have chosen something instead of stringing both of us along indefinitely. I need time to think. You've had months to think. How much more time do you need? I don't know. A few days? A week? I stood up and placed the ring on the coffee table between us. Fine, 1 week. But while you're thinking, I'm going to be thinking too. About what? About whether I want to be married to someone who considers me settling. About whether I want to spend the rest of my life with someone who needs to hide her wedding ring to feel happy. She looked up at me sharply. What does that mean? It means maybe you're not the only one who needs to figure out what they want. I walked toward the door, leaving her sitting there staring at the ring. "Where are you going?" "Out." "Don't wait up." For the first time in months, I was the one leaving her wondering where I'd been. I spent that 1 week getting my ducks in a row. I called a lawyer Monday morning, organized all our financial documents by Tuesday, and by Wednesday I had a clear picture of exactly what divorce would look like. Not because I wanted it, but because I needed to know my options. The lawyer was straightforward. Given the short length of the marriage and minimal shared assets, this would be relatively simple. No kids, no house, just a car, and some credit card debt to split. How long would it take if it's uncontested? 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks to undo 2 years of marriage. It seemed both too long and too fast at the same time. She spent the week going out even more than usual. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday afternoon into evening. She was really leaning into this whole figuring herself out thing. By Sunday, I was ready for whatever conversation we were going to have, but she had other plans. "My parents want us to come to dinner tonight," she announced that morning. "Tonight?" "Yeah. My mom's making that roast you like." Interesting timing. Her parents had been asking us to dinner for weeks, but she'd always found excuses. Now, right when we're supposed to be having a serious conversation about our marriage, suddenly she wants to go to family dinner. "Did you tell them we're having problems?" "No. Why would I tell them that?" "Because we are having problems. Major ones. I don't see any reason to worry them unless we have to. Unless we have to." Like she was already planning for this to go badly. "Fine, we'll go to dinner." The drive to her parents' house was awkward. She kept trying to make small talk about work, the weather, anything except the elephant in the room. I just focused on driving and wondered what game she was playing. Her parents were thrilled to see us. Her mother immediately started bustling around the kitchen. Her father offered me a beer and wanted to talk about the game, normal family dinner stuff. But about an hour in, during dinner, she started her performance. "You know, Mom," she said, cutting her roast with unnecessary precision. "I've been thinking a lot about marriage lately." Her mother perked up. "Oh, good thoughts, I hope. Just wondering if people put too much pressure on it. Like, why does a piece of paper have to define a relationship?" Her father looked up from his plate. "What do you mean, sweetheart?" "I mean, look at my friend Jessica. She's been with her boyfriend for 5 years. They live together, they're completely committed, but they're not married, and they seem just as happy as any married couple." Her mother frowned. "Marriage is about more than just living together. It's about commitment, about making a promise before God and family. But what if the promise becomes a burden? What if people change and the promise doesn't make sense anymore?" I could see where this was going. She was testing the waters, trying to get her parents to basically give her permission to bail on our marriage. "Marriage isn't supposed to be easy," her father said. "Your mother and I have had our rough patches, but you work through them. But what if working through them means pretending to be someone you're not?" Her mother set down her fork. "Is everything okay with you two?" "Everything's fine," she said quickly. "I'm just thinking out loud." "Actually," I said, deciding to jump into this conversation. "Everything's not fine." She shot me a look that could have melted steel. "What do you mean?" her mother asked. "I mean, your daughter has some concerns about our marriage that I think you should know about." "We don't need to discuss this here," she said through gritted teeth. "Don't we?" "You brought it up." Her father put down his beer. "What kind of concerns?" I looked at her, giving her a chance to tell her own story. She just stared at me with panic in her eyes. "Well," I said, keeping my voice calm and reasonable, "she's been struggling with feeling trapped in our marriage. She's been questioning whether she made the right choice in marrying me." "That's not exactly what I said," she protested. "Isn't it? Because yesterday you told me you thought you settled when you married me. That you married me because I was safe, not because you loved me." Her parents looked shocked. Her mother actually gasped. "You said that?" her father asked. "It's more complicated than that," she said, her face flushing red. "How is it complicated?" I asked. "You either meant it or you didn't." I was confused. I was upset. You were being honest. Finally, her mother looked between us. "I don't understand. You seemed so happy at the wedding." "I was happy at the wedding," she said, "but things change, people change." "What things?" her father asked. "What's changed?" She opened her mouth, then closed it. Because the truth was, nothing had really changed except her attitude. "She's also been taking off her wedding ring," I added helpfully. "Taking it off?" Her mother looked horrified. "Not taking it off," she said quickly. "I lost it." You found it, I reminded her. Hidden in your jewelry drawer. The silence at the table was deafening. You hid your wedding ring? Her father asked, his voice dangerously quiet. I didn't hide it. I wasn't wearing it for a while. Why? Because I needed space to think. About what? About whether I want to be married. Her mother looked like she might cry. But you are married. You made vows. I know I made vows, but what if I made them for the wrong reasons? What reasons? Her father asked. She looked around the table desperately, realizing she'd backed herself into a corner. I married him because everyone expected me to, because we looked good together, because it seemed like the right thing to do. And now I don't know if it was right for me. Her father looked at me. And how do you feel about this? I feel like I married someone who wasn't honest with me about what she wanted. And I feel like she's been treating our marriage like an experiment she can opt out of whenever she gets bored. That's not fair, she said. Isn't it? You've been going out without your ring, posting on social media about being single, lying about where you've been. What would you call that? Her parents looked stunned. You posted about being single? Her mother asked. It was just a hashtag. While you were married, her father said. It wasn't a question. I was exploring my identity. Your identity as a single woman, I said. While married to me? Her father leaned back in his chair. So, what exactly are you planning to do about this? She looked at me, then at her parents. I don't know, we're trying to figure it out. Are we? I asked, because it seems like you've already figured it out. You just don't want to be the one to say it out loud. Say what out loud? That you want a divorce? The word hung in the air like a bomb had gone off. Do you want a divorce? Her mother asked quietly. She didn't answer immediately, which was answer enough. I think, I said, standing up from the table. This conversation has gone on long enough. Where are you going? She asked. Home, to think about whether I want to stay married to someone who's been auditioning for her next relationship while still married to me. I turned to her parents. Thank you for dinner. I'm sorry this isn't how we wanted to spend the evening. Her father nodded. We understand. As I headed for the door, I heard her mother ask, How long has this been going on? Months, I heard her answer quietly. I didn't stick around to hear the rest of that conversation, but I had a feeling her parents were about to give her a reality check she wasn't expecting. The drive home was the first time in weeks I felt like I could actually breathe. No more pretending, no more walking on eggshells, no more wondering what she was really thinking. Now everyone knew exactly where we stood, and it was time to decide what to do about it. She came home 3 hours later. I was sitting in the living room with a folder of papers on the coffee table, waiting. We need to talk, she said, her eyes red from crying. Do we? Because I think we've talked enough. She sat down across from me and saw the folder. What's that? Divorce papers. Her face went white. You filed for divorce? Not yet. But they're ready to go. Without talking to me about it? I tried talking to you about it for months. You weren't interested in honest conversation until tonight when your parents cornered you. That's not fair. Fair. I leaned forward. You know what's not fair? Being married to someone who's been shopping around for a replacement while pretending to work on our marriage. I haven't been shopping around, haven't you? The late nights, the social media posts, the hidden wedding ring. What exactly would you call that? She was quiet for a moment. I talked to my parents after you left, and they're disappointed in me. Good, they should be. They said I was being selfish and immature. They're right. They said, marriage is about commitment, not just feelings. Also, right? She looked down at her hands. They think I should fight for our marriage. And what do you think? I think maybe they're right. Maybe I have been selfish. I picked up the papers. Maybe isn't good enough anymore. What do you mean? I mean, I'm done with maybe. I'm done with you figuring it out. I'm done being your backup plan while you decide if there's something better out there. You're not my backup plan. Then what am I? She opened her mouth, then closed it. That's what I thought. I stood up. Tomorrow morning I'm filing these papers. Wait. She jumped up. Don't I get a say in this? You've had months to have a say. You chose to spend that time playing single instead of working on our marriage. I made a mistake. You made a choice. Multiple choices, over and over again. People make mistakes. That doesn't mean the marriage has to end. Some mistakes are too big to come back from. Like what? Like telling your husband you settled for him. Like hiding your wedding ring while you go out pretending to be single. Like lying about where you've been and who you've been with. I never cheated on you. Didn't you? Maybe not physically, but emotionally. You checked out of this marriage months ago. She started crying. I can change. I can be better. I don't want you to change. I want you to want to be married to me. And you don't. I do want to be married to you now. You do because the alternative is divorce and starting over. But 3 hours ago you were telling your parents that marriage was just a piece of paper. I was confused. You were honest. Finally. She sat back down heavily. So that's it. You're just giving up. I'm not giving up. I'm accepting reality. You don't want to be married to me, or maybe to anyone. And I'm not going to force you. But what if I change my mind? Then you'll learn an important lesson about consequences. I headed toward the bedroom to pack a bag. Where are you going? Hotel tonight. Tomorrow, I'll start looking for my own place. You don't have to leave. Yes, I do. Because staying here while we're getting divorced would be torture for both of us. We don't have to get divorced. I stopped and turned around. Answer me this. If I hadn't found your ring, if your parents hadn't forced this conversation tonight, would you still be going out without your wedding ring and posting about being single? She didn't answer. That's what I thought. I'm sorry. I know you are. But sorry doesn't undo months of deception. So what happens now? Now you get what you wanted. Your freedom, your independence, your chance to figure out who you are without being tied down to someone safe and boring. I never said you were boring. You didn't have to. I grabbed my overnight bag from the closet. I really did love you, she said quietly. I know. But love isn't enough when respect is gone. I do respect you. No, you don't. If you respected me, you wouldn't have spent months lying to me. If you respected me, you would have talked to me about your doubts instead of acting them out. I headed for the door again. Will you at least think about it? About giving us another chance? I've been thinking about it for months. While you were out living your single life, I was home thinking about what I could do differently to make you happy. But I finally realized that the problem isn't me. The problem is that you don't want to be married. Maybe I can learn to want it. Maybe isn't good enough anymore. I walked out the door, leaving her sitting there with the divorce papers. She'd said the marriage was dead anyway. Tomorrow, I was going to make it official. I filed the papers Tuesday morning. By noon, she'd been served at her office. Her first call came 20 minutes later. You actually did it. I told you I would. I thought you were bluffing. I don't bluff. Can we meet to talk? There's nothing left to talk about. Please. One conversation. Against my better judgment, I agreed to meet her for coffee Thursday evening. She showed up wearing her wedding ring. Interesting timing, I said, looking at her hand. I've been wearing it since Sunday night after hiding it for months. I made a mistake. You made a choice. She sat down across from me, and I could see she'd been crying. I talked to a lawyer, too. Good. Makes this easier. He said I could contest the divorce, drag it out for months. You could, but you won't. Why are you so sure? Because deep down, you know this is what you want. You're just scared of being alone. She was quiet for a moment. What if you're wrong? Then you'll find someone who makes you happy. Someone who doesn't feel like settling. I didn't mean that. Yes, you did. And that's okay. But I'm not going to spend the rest of my life trying to prove I'm worth staying married to. I don't want you to prove anything. Then what do you want? I want to go back to how things were before. Before when? Before you started taking off your ring. Before you started posting about being single. Before you told me the marriage was dead. Before I messed everything up. We can't go back. Too much has been said. Too much trust has been broken. She reached across the table like she was going to take my hand and stopped. I love you. I love you too. But love isn't enough. It used to be. It used to be because we had respect for each other. We had trust. We had commitment. We can get that back. Can we? Because I don't think I'll ever forget you telling me you settled for me. I don't think I'll ever stop wondering if you really want to be here, or if you're just scared of being alone. She started crying again. So that's it? 2 years of marriage and you're just throwing it away? I'm not throwing anything away. I'm accepting that it's already gone. When did you become so cold? When I realized my wife had been lying to me for months while she figured out if she wanted to stay married. We sat in silence for a few minutes. 3 other couples around us were talking, laughing, looking happy. We probably looked like we were breaking up, which I guess we were. What happens now? She asked finally. Now we divide up our stuff, sign the papers, and move on with our lives. Like that. Just like that. And then what? We never see each other again. Probably not. We don't have kids. We don't own property together. There's no reason to stay in contact. What about our friends? They'll pick sides. Most of them will probably pick yours. I don't want them to pick sides. It's what happens when people get divorced. She wiped her eyes. I really did think I could figure it out. I thought maybe if I had some space, some freedom, I could remember why I wanted to be married in the first place. And did you? No, I just felt guilty and confused. That should tell you something. What? That you're not ready to be married to anyone, and that's okay. But I'm not going to wait around while you figure that out. So, you're just giving up on us. I'm accepting reality. You don't want to be married. You want the security of marriage without the commitment. You want the safety net without the responsibility. That's not true. Isn't it? You kept me around as backup while you tested what being single felt like. When it got scary, you wanted to come back. That's not love. That's convenience. She looked down at her ring. I wish I could take it all back. I wish you could too. But you can't. So what now? Now you sign the papers when your lawyer reviews them. We split up our stuff. You keep the apartment. I'll find somewhere else to live. You don't have to move out. Yes, I do. I'm not going to live with my ex-wife. We're not divorced yet. We are in every way that matters. She sat there for a while longer, occasionally wiping her eyes, but we didn't talk much. There wasn't much left to say. When she finally got up to leave, she stopped at my chair. For what it's worth, I really am sorry. I know you are. I hope you find someone who deserves you. I hope you figure out what you actually want. She walked away and I sat there finishing my coffee. 3 couples at nearby tables were deep in conversation, planning futures together. I used to be one of those people. My phone buzzed with a text from my brother. How'd it go? It's over. I typed back. You okay? I will be. And I would be because I'd rather be alone and respected than married and taken for granted. She'd said the marriage was dead anyway. I just made it official. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is stop fighting for someone who's already given up. Our story has come to an end. If you've made it this far, how about subscribing to our channel? It helps us immensely. I've selected 2 other videos for you that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Feel free to click on them. I'll be waiting for you in the next story. See you soon.
And it just didn't matter because their Gibby was doing good bubbles and resetting his team well, and my team wouldn't push a single fucking thing ever. Burp. People see my glittery shark Gibby running at them and there's fear in their hearts, dude. That's the important part. They see my little fucking sharky shield and they go, uh-oh. Blood in the water, baby. Munch-a-munch.
This is your champion.
Uh-oh. Street Market Hot Drop. Renowned, one of my least favorites. Not gonna lie.
Make a beeline there, cuzzies.
Little fucking stanky ass buildings.
Rolling that way. Got an enemy right here.
Throwing thermite grenade. Throwing Arc Star.
Throwing
Throwing thermite grenade.
Light arsenal here
Hostile
for a
close.
faster shot.
Be here.
Thermite grenade
Drilling
out.
here. Being shot at.
Main countdown.
Charging machine
Contact with
gun
target.
here.
Damage over here. Throwing some cover. Bomb bomb. Contact with hostile.
1 minute. Ring's pretty close.
Break that in shield.
Kill leader avoided.
Contact with target. All right, hard cases. We're right by the ring. Got 45.
I downed an enemy.
That end shield is cracked.
Recharging shields.
Strike out.
Bro, people fucking everywhere. They're surrounding us. Yeah, Street Market fucking sucks, bro.
Contact with hostile.
Healing over there, healing over there. He healed.
Open wide. Here comes the drill.
Dude, you don't even fucking ping, bro.
10 seconds. Right next door. Easy.
You don't even tell me where you see.
There, brothers. Shield up. Enemy in.
You can rest.
Rings moving. Drag out. That's it, brothers. Don't worry, my brother. I got you.
You can res as fucking if, bro. I don't think I could res there. I think that was a lie.
Jimmy's got your back.
It's okay, guys. No shield swaps for your boy. It's okay, guys. Hey, I know I fucking saved your lives.
Making contact with enemy. Avoided. New kill leader. Watch for them.
Oh, I'm low on health. Better heal up when I can. Didn't think
Nice
this thing could
bomb.
get more powerful. It did. Giving my shields a recharge. Supplies here. I love that.
The big win incoming. Eve, it's been the night for it. If you're feeling like gambling, today's the day. We need 50 RP to get into fucking, into plat. 50.
Didn't think this thing
Or
could get
49,
more
I think.
powerful. It did.
And we have been cooking.
Ended heavy mag here. Level 2.
Gotta heal. Taking a knee.
You can roleplay if your heart desires. Oh. Real.
Punching a tunnel.
Make a beeline there, cuzzy.
Portal placed.
Crafting. Do not bloody disturb.
Fuck's my Wraith doing, bro? Hey, Wraith Pookie, are you okay? I think he's having a rage, bro. I think we've got a rage. He put 2 portals and then he's fucking spinning around in circles on it.
Void running. Enemy spotted.
Egg on top of us. Let's attack here. Another squad's been here. Let's rip. Reloaded. Enemy here. Mess him up. Move your beaucoup there. He's there. Let's back.
Not sure. I think someone's targeting me.
Enemy here.
Throwing some cover fire. Signaling an arm.
Get the hell out of the way.
Give me my
Can I please run? Holy fuck.
This time I'm down. Hostile over there.
Why are we fucking pushing? You guys are so fucking shit. Why? Why? Why, bro? Mental illnesses are being put on display today. I'm about to go insane. Rage fucking have a cry after I'm trying my fucking ass off to get these idiots back up when they do. This guy got 3 fucking non-participated kills for those 3 earlier, by the way. And so the Wraith, the only one other one that did damage, has a cry, starts inting, and then a Wraith goes and plays by themselves. This guy's like, I'm gonna go play with the guy that's having a cry and raging. And then fucking sees people and just runs into zone and starts fighting them in buildings instead of just holding zone. And then I fucking hit myself with my ult barely like an idiot. And then they just all fucking run in through zone out of like no cover and my whole team just doesn't shoot a single fucking person. I can't deal with it.